Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's session on specifically on the Singapore market. If you guys are interested to invest or trade in the Singapore market and look for any ideas, you can go to the website. I'm just gonna about to share to you guys. Okay, it's sg.equitystriker.com, and that's where tonight I'll be focused on. So you can type in sg.equitystriker.com so that we can go through some of the features available over there, which is now available for free. If you guys have any friends who are interested to invest in the Singapore market, this will be a powerful tool to actually find investing and trading ideas. All right. If you can hear me, can you just type yes on the comment so that I can know that you are actually hearing me? Okay, so basically our focus today is on the Singapore market. We have a website called sg.equitystracker, which you can use for free to find out more about the finding investing or trading opportunities in the Singapore market. So just type in sg.equitystracker.com. All right. Okay, I'll just bring you to the screen. This is how it looks like once you type sg.equitystriker.com. You'll be able to see it's quite a simple tool. Basically, the whole website there is to create something that is easy for everyone to use, especially if you are in Malaysia and looking for opportunities in Singapore market, whether they are in shares, stocks, or REITs. There are information available for you to make your own investment decision. All right. So before I proceed, whatever that is being shared here today is for educational purposes only. It's not intended as any investment advice. Okay, so I'm gonna just bring you through a few of the features over here on Equity Striker or sg.equitystriker.com. If you look at the top part of the screen here, you can see there's stocks, there's REITs. So we divide stocks and REITs into two separate features because the way we analyze REITs are completely different from where we analyze stocks. So I'm just going to go through with you first on the stocks. If you browse at the bottom, it's also just basically stock search and REITs. So you can just type on the first or the top part of the menu here that says stocks. That's where you go and look for investing ideas for stocks. All right. So there are basically two kinds of two kinds of ideas that you want to invest in the Singapore stock market. One is trading ideas, which basically uses price charts and to find opportunities, whether it's in an uptrend or whether it's in a downtrend. All right. But I'll go through with you first in the investing ideas. Okay, so this is basically used for fundamental or for using fundamentals. All right. So we have actually divide or we pre-screened the criterias for you so that you don't need to go through all the screeners and immediately you will have ideas from these five screeners themselves. All right. And if you look at this here, each of these five screeners or pre-screeners, we have also basically put the criteria in. Like for example, if you look at rising stars, right? Rising stars have continuously grown their net profits over the last 3 and 5 years. So you can look at the 3 or 5 years growth. That shows that there's an improve in the company financials in terms of its net profits or even industry performance. All right. If you go to Dividend Kings, these are basically companies that have paid consistent dividends. All right. And they have you know, they have posted profits, they have positive operating cash flow, and they also paid dividends for the last 5 years. So we are looking for consistency, right? And if you are looking for stocks that are consistent in paying dividends, then those should be available in Dividend Kings, right? If you are looking for companies that are strong in margins, that they have strong profit margins. They call them moat defenders because they have actually built quite a strong moat around them to avoid competitors, right? So moat defenders are companies with super wide economic moats. They're posting profits of over 20% margin. All right, so their profit margins are 20% over the last 3 years. And if you look at cash hoarders, this is basically companies that has a lot of cash. Okay, um, and continuous heroes are basically stocks that are very consistent. Right, they have posted net profits, okay, without fail for the past 10 years. They also give dividends for the past 10 years, and they have positive operating cash flows in the past 10 years. So this is 10 years of continuity that shows very strong financial performance. All right. So if I'm going to look for, let's say, dividend kings, right, I can actually just click on dividend kings. Okay, so if you're looking for companies, this is basically companies that have provided dividends and sorted by dividend yield. All right. So we can look at Banleong Technologies, for example, it's a computer hardware company, small cap, 41 million, 41 million in size, and they have a dividend yield of about 10.14%. All right. This is dividend. Of course, this dividend yield is based on the latest financial year. All right. Um, and you can see that this is sorted by dividend yield. You want to sort by price, you can just click on the latest closing price, for example. I show, like, for example, SGX. That's the highest price at the moment for this group of stocks, right? With a market cap of about 9 billion or nearly 10 billion Singapore dollars, provided a 3.44% dividend yield. All right. Of course, this is they only show you 10 uh, stocks at one go. So if you want to look at the rest of them, you can just click on the button here below, go 2 or 3. That means there's here a total of 24 shares that has basically provided dividends for the past 5 years. There's uninterrupted net profits and also paid dividends over the past 5 years, right? So it's a quite consistent companies lah. So I'm just going to go back to here and look for, let's say, the highest dividend yield, Banleong Technologies, for example. I can click on this company, okay, for me to look at more details. So I can just click here, for example. I can look at, first of all, on the first page, you'll see that this shows you the basic statistics of the company, right? The price chart is down here. You can see price has actually gone down. I can look at, let's say, a longer term chart. Maybe I'll look at, let's say, a weekly chart so I can get the bigger picture of where the stock price is moving. So you can see the price went as high as 50 cents. That was, let me see, 50 cents. That was somewhere in the beginning of 2022, March 2022. It went to 50 cents. And of course, in the past 1 year, market has softened. You see price has actually came down. All right. So it's now trading at about 36 cents. So that's price charts. Of course, you can apply whatever indicators here available. There's quite a number of indicators you can use. If you are a chartist or a technical analyst, then this tool will be helpful to you. Okay. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can also see the dividend payouts. Okay, these are all the announcement dates, the X date, and also the pay date, right, of all the dividends that I've paid. So if you look at this company, it normally pays about 2 times dividends in a year. All right. If you go back all the way back up to 2012, it shows you 10 years of data. All right. Now, if I want to look at the fundamentals of this company, then I can just go to the top part back again. I look at financials. So here it will show you the some of the stats. All right. Um, on this graph here, it will show you the net profit, the revenue, and the operating cash flow. So let's say the revenue here is quite high. Of course, the margins are quite low, right? You have revenue that's growing quite substantially, but we do not see the net profit actually rising. So I can just, let's say, untick revenue if I want. So I can look at their profits and also their operating cash flow. Okay. This is, of course, in graphical format. One look at it, you know that yes, the revenue is rising over time. This is a computer hardware company, right? And therefore margins are pretty low. Okay. So you can look at here the 10 years of data from 2012 to 2013, 2023. Okay, the financial year, of course, in March. You haven't gotten the new one yet. So in the next probably 1 month or so, you probably have the 2023 and period ending March 23. All right. So you can see the turnover has actually increased quite steadily, right? 10 years ago, it was the turnover or revenue was about 113 million, and today is making about 225 million. If you look at profits, for example, has risen. Okay, you look at profit before tax, 2.3 million has gone up to 10 million in 10 years. Net profit after tax, right? Payable to shareholders from 431,000 Singapore dollars 10 years ago, and has gone up to about 9 million, all right, US Singapore dollars. If you look at the basic earnings per share has also increased. So you can see the increase in its financials over the past years has been consistent. You can see every year has been rising. The net profit has been rising as well. Okay. Now the good thing also is company has quite good positive operating cash flow over the years. You can see it's all green over here at the top in operating activities. So they have been quite good at managing their cash as well, right? And therefore able to pay their dividends. Okay. So if you want to look for more details, you can see that the fundamentals are actually quite strong. And if the share prices, we're going to go back to overview over here. If the share prices are, for the past 10 years, if I'm going to look at 10 years, right, on a monthly chart, okay, you can see that the price 10 years ago was trading about 13 cents, and today is trading about 36 cents. So it has grown together with the profitability and the revenue of the company, right? So price has gone up about 3 times. Okay, price gone up about 3 times, whereas its net profit actually gone up much more lah. All right, so you look at net profit from um, 2.3 million, it gone up to about 10.89 million. That's profit before tax. That has gone up about 4x or 4 times, whereas price has gone up 3 times. Okay, so this is basically quite a company that's quite consistent. But if you want to look at the shorter term, for example, I can go to the quarterlies, right, and look at the quarterly results, and you can see that their turnover on a quarterly basis has also shown quite good, returns. See the turnover from 75 million to 100 million in 2022 compared 3 years ago. The quarterly profits we only show up to 3 years. And you can see the EPS has actually gone up. Of course, it has softened a little bit for the financial year or the quarter ending September 2022 lah. So it has actually come down a little bit compared to um, the current quarter and the previous quarter, right? The net profit has gone down from 5.17 million, went down to 2.3 million. And that's the reason why I think you see the share price has pulled back a little bit, all right? And therefore, it may create some opportunities. You're looking for companies that are, share prices has come down, but the financials are still doing quite well. All right. Just remember the price of this counter has gone up to about 50 cents last year, and it's now trading at 36 cents. Okay. So again, the reason why we touch in this counter is because this is a dividend counter, right? That pays dividend. So if you're looking for a consistent, companies that provides or pays dividends, and these are the lists that you can look at. All right. So I'm going to go back again to the list. Okay, so these are dividend kings, and of course I can look at the rest of them. If you're looking for a bigger cap company, for example, if I'm going to look at a big company like bearish, I can also sort this list by market cap. You can see Singapore Exchange is the one of the biggest over here. Okay, and if you go on, I can look at the other ones as well. Okay, so if you look at Singapore Exchange, for example, I can also look at their financials. This is the share price on a daily chart. Okay, I'm going to look at a long term. This is how it looks like. Just change it to a monthly chart so that you can view more data on a longer term, right? So this is a 10-year movement. Share prices has actually not moved that much, right? 10 years ago, it was trading about 6 ringgit, $6.40. It's now trading at $9.30. It's about 30% increase. All right. So if we're going to look at financials, for example, okay, you can also see at one glance that their revenue has been growing, their net profits has been growing, their operating cash flow has been growing as well over the years. Okay, so again, this is one more consistent company, right? It's not as big as Ban Leong that we seen earlier, where the growth is much higher, right? Here the turnover in 10 years ago it was about 650 million, and it's now at about 1.1 billion. All right, not a double increase like what we have seen in the earlier company. Okay, so this is very consistent. This is a very consistent company. Look, net profits has been quite consistent, and in fact, the net profit margin is actually quite high, right? Of course, operating cash flows, they have very, very healthy operating cash flows. Okay, they have also very healthy cash, um, and the rest of it. All right. So if you look at quarterlies, for example, so how did it do in the past quarters? You also see they have been quite consistent over the past 4 quarters, right? They're quite consistent: 520, 535, 521, 577, 571. Net profit has also been quite consistent. Okay. Of course, Singapore Exchange is the stock exchange for the Singapore market. Now, if you guys have any questions, you can just type it down on the questions so that I'll bring that up later and answer your questions. If there's any questions on the software or the tool, you can also ask me as well. Okay. So I'm gonna go back here to stock selection. We're gonna go Dividend Kings earlier, right? So these are all companies that has this criteria. So make sure you read the criteria properly. Okay, this uninterrupted net profits and dividends. Okay, plus positive operating cash flow for the past 5 years. Okay, sorted by dividend yield, and it excludes REITs. All right. Now, what if I'm looking for, let's say, rising stars? That means companies that has grown their net profits over the last 3 and 5 years. So here, um, we'll give you a list, quite a big number of companies over here. There are 144 companies where you can see their net profit has been growing. Okay. If you want to look for over 5 years, then you can just click on 5 years. There are these are more consistent ones. You're looking at 5 years of growth, right? There are 13 companies. All right, there are 13 companies. So look at this is basically sorted by its price. I think. Let me see. Or its 5-year growth. You can see that the first example here, Azure Systems. Okay, market cap is about 257 million. It's an IT company. The 5-year growth is 741%. All right. And then the 5-year net profit growth is 2,500%. So it's quite interesting, right, for this kind of company. The closing price is 850. So let's take a look at this company. So Azios, again, there's a brief introduction of the company. The price is trading near its 1-year high, as you can see here. Discounted, not much volume, okay, but the growth is really quite strong. All right, as you can see here, over the past 10 years, price, okay, from 2015 to 2021, the price was actually quite low, but now you see the profit has risen again. Okay, over the past 5 years, of course, previously it was not reflected now. Now, these are dividend payouts. So this company do pay dividends, okay, quite consistently every year as well. All right. Even look at financials. So you can see the company has been quite steady. This company was listed, I think, in 2015. Therefore, you don't see a 10-year graph or 10-year data. All right. So this is in Hong Kong dollars, right? It's trading in Hong Kong dollars. So this is a Hong Kong company, probably. Turnover has gone up. It has doubled from 5 years ago, 2016, right? And 2022, 6 years ago. All right. So it's doubled. Operating profit has actually gone up quite a lot. All right. Profit before tax has also gone up quite a lot. In 2017, you can see that there's quite a big loss over here. Okay, I'm not sure what the loss is all about, but it could possibly be write-offs on the company. Okay, 10-year cash flow company earlier it was not that consistent. You can see the operating cash flow has been up and down from 2016 to 2019, but coming to 20 onwards, 21, 22, their operating cash flow has been positive and it's quite strong as well. All right, so they have cash positions as well. Okay, so you can look at the rest of the other details to find more about this company's financial. So, it wasn't they had not really a strong start in the earlier years from 2016 to 2019, but 2020 onwards, you can see quite a strong growth for this company. Okay, so you look at quarterlies. Quarterly's performance has also been quite strong. You can see from the first quarter in September 2020, the turnover was 79, profit was 10. But now if you look at the 2022 first half, turnover has gone up about 30%, but net profit has gone up almost doubled. Okay, so we are seeing again strong performance in the short term over the past few years as compared to the earlier years. Okay, so you can actually quite easily gauge the performance of the company financials by looking at this graph. You can go for longer term, where you look at um, annual financials, okay, or you can look at the quarterlies, right, for short term. Okay. So let me go back here again. We were looking at rising stars, right? So if you look at, let's say, a bigger market cap, look at 5 years one, yeah. So Azia's is here. Azia's market cap is about 250 million. The hourglass, okay, the hourglass here. I think you all know the hourglass, right? Okay, watches, luxury watches. Okay, luxury watches. So this company, you can see the share price. If I'm going to look at a longer term, so I can go to monthly chart. Okay, there's not much happening here. Okay, trading volume is quite low for this company. Let's take a look at financials. Okay, so we have seen quite strong growth in 21, 22. Uh, the revenue has gone up actually quite substantially over the past 1 year. Actually, you can see from 2015 to 2021, turnover has been around 700 plus million, right? But 2022 we see quite a big jump here on this turnover from the 700,000 Singapore dollars profits turn into a 1 billion turnover, right? And of course, in the jewelry or in the retail market, margins are quite small. So operating profit, you can see over here, has also risen quite healthily, right? From 72 million to about 198. Net profit is 57. Okay, almost triple. Okay, from just 5 years ago. Okay. They are quite well in terms of cash position. You can see the operating cash flow is quite healthy at 221 million. Okay, their profit is actually 157 million, but they're holding 221 million. You can see that the cash is at 265 million. Okay, so this company has quite a lot of cash, right? Being in a retail business is a cash business, and therefore whatever sales that they make, translates into cash. All right. So you're looking for a safe company to invest in, that has growth as well, because these are rising stars. Short term, you can see strong growth. This is a company that you can look at. All right. So you can look at quarterlies as well. Quarterlies, of course, in the past 1 year, we've shown you earlier, there's a big jump on its performance, right? From 700 million turnover to about 1 billion turnover. You can see here as well, 2020, it was straight. It was about 170. But you can see in the first quarter of 2020, the turnover has actually started to rise quite strongly, right? And therefore, the net profit has gone up as well. So this is a very strong growth in the short term, right? Over the past few quarters. Okay, so those are rising stars. So if you're looking for companies, that has quite good margins, right? This will basically give you the company. For example, you can see the average 5-year net profit margin for this company, Hobby Land, is about 98.1% net profit margin. The latest net profit margin is 38.1%. These are real estate guys lah. And you can see, right, if you just sort and if you look at this counter or this list over here, okay, the mode defenders, you can see most of these companies here are real estate. Right, we have real estate. We have Hobby Land, we have Pollux Properties, we have Singapore Land Group, right? Yeah, you have Centurion Corporation. Okay, I can just sort this by subsectors. You can see how many real estate companies here itself, right? Quite a number of them. Okay. So if I look at the margins again, let's take a look at Hobby Land. Okay, their price is trading near the 52-week low. We see price came down, and this is normal because in the past 1 year, rising interest rates also is not a good thing for the property market, right? Over the long run, I'm just going to put in monthly chart to give you an idea where the stock price currently is, right? So if you look at the monthly chart, since 10 years ago, it was trading here at about 140, it went up to almost $3, and it's now back at $2. All right. You can see the sharp decline here since 2 months ago was, of course, because of the rise of interest rates, right? That makes property or the real estate market to soften a little bit, right? It, of course, not happen just in Singapore, but the rest of the world, including Malaysia as well. If we're going to look at financials, so again, property market, although they are profit, they don't see much growth, right? But you can see margins as quite consistent. This is the up and downs, right? But you don't really see strong growth like what we see on the rising stars, right? But these companies basically have very good margins. Okay. So turnover also you can see here since 10 years ago, okay, they are making about 461 million. And here, fast forward 10 years later, is still making about 400 million. But before that, the turnover was quite low, right? But that being said, you can see that their net profit margins are very high. Okay. Cash flow is being quite well managed as well. You can see that cash flow has always been mostly positive over the past 10 years. It's only 2 times it was negative. Okay. Um, and the company has cash as well. Okay, so again, this if you are interested in property market, then you can always look at this. Okay, you can also compare with the rest of the other real estate companies, for example, and you can also compare, of course, the other sectors as well, right? So you have Hong Kong Land, for example. We have here City Development, UOL, Frasers, and the rest of them. All right, so Hobby Land is here. Okay, this is in terms of market cap. So the biggest, of course, right now in terms of market cap is 9 billion Sing dollars, and that's Hong Kong Land. City Development is about 6 billion. But of course, I can also look at, for example, the dividend yields. Okay, currently, um, Uni Asia Group, Global Dragon, these are the ones that provide the best yields currently for the property sector. Okay. So you can look at down here as well. Market cap, PE, you look at PE, for example. You look at all the other companies here. These are the PE. So like Chip Eng Sing Corporation actually has 74 times PE. Oh, this is quite interesting. Let's take a look at this, right? mean the share prices has already gone up quite a lot. Okay, I'm looking at a longer term. Okay, in the long term, the price basically doesn't go up that much. It's been trading around this range, 40 cents to about $1. Um, let's take a look at the financials. Okay, so like most of the property companies, um, the profits, the turnover are basically is like a zigzag, right? It just go up and down. And but this company share price is trading quite high. That's why you see the PE is about 74 times. Turnover has increased a little bit. Okay, for any property companies. Um, we can see most of the property companies, the net profits and the revenue, the net profits and the operating cash flow is normally about the same. All right. So I'm gonna go down. So that's basically mode defenders. If I'm looking for company that has cash, I just click. So the same thing, right? Whenever you click, these are all companies that is basically pre-filtered, right? So for example, cash holders, cash hoarders are companies that must have 5 years of track record, of course. Okay, it's sorted by net cash percentage of the market cap. All right. So that means that this company has 940% of the market cap. In terms of cash, these are all cash. They are 9 times more cash than its market cap. All right. So if you're buying the share, you're basically buying their cash way more. And the market cap, like you see, is only 160 million, but they have a net cash of 1.5 billion. Okay. So if you're looking for companies that are safe, right, where you buy their share price, but you're basically holding the cash, right? These are the kinds of companies, lah. Okay. So, guys, if you have any questions, you can just type down those questions. I'm gonna continue with the rest of it, right? Um, Continuous heroes again. These are like you see here. Okay, these are companies that has at least 10 years of uninterrupted net profits, uninterrupted dividends, and uninterrupted positive operating cash flow. Right. So you can see this company, for example, Cosmos Steel. They have been profitable for the past 11 years. They have been paying dividends for the past 12 years and also has positive operating cash flow over the past 12 years. Okay, so latest close is small market cap is about 32.6 or 32.6 million US dollars, giving a dividend yield of about 10%, which is quite high. Closing price is only at 12.5 cents. So I'm going to look at this company, for example, Cosmos Steel. Okay, you can look at the share price. Okay, share price has been coming down lately. You're going to look at long term. Okay, this is long term price. You can see that our price is trading at the bottom of the long term price, of the long term price action price movement. If I look at financials, you can see price the revenue has been going down over the years. Okay, uh, so therefore this company, although the revenue has come down, they do still pay dividends every single year. And they are still profitable, but it's only that the profit has actually gone down now, right? 13 million to 2.3 million. And therefore, these stats will give you, so you have to be careful with this, right? Although they have been consistent in its net profits, but we do not know the growth of the net profits, whether the net profit is growing or whether it's going down, right? That's the reason why we need to look at the details, click on a particular counter, and one look at it, you can see the profits has gone the revenue has gone down, the profit has also gone down. Okay. Okay, so that's for the fundamentals, right? So if I'm going to look for technical, for example, if I'm looking for let's say market is down right now, but I want to look for stock that is going up in an uptrend. Okay, I can just look for uptrend support opportunities. Again, if you look at the criteria, right, the price is near the 30-day moving average. We sorted out companies that is above 20 cents. Our volume is above 500. So basically, this is a list for stocks that have pulled back to a support level of a medium, short, medium, or long-term trend. Okay, where normally if we after a pullback, we're gonna expect a rebound. Okay, to give you an example, so this is basically purely technical, right? Using price charts. So I can just click on, for example, Food Empire. You can see on the chart. I'm just gonna load for a while. Okay, the price quite strong. It's been steadily trading above the moving average, and now it is as the high was at about 126. Okay, and it has pulled back to the current price of 120, 102. So now it has pulled back to the moving average. Okay, so this again basically look for stock that is uptrend, and is currently pulling back. In this case, the short-term 30-day moving average. All right. So if this is short-term trends, you can look for long-term trend. I can go to medium-term and even long-term 200-day moving average. So if I, for example, if I'm going to click at long-term 200-day moving average. You see, there's no stock here. That means we do not have any stocks that is in a bullish trend based on a long-term 200-day moving average. Okay, you may have prices going up, but may not have price actually pulling back to the average. Right. Same thing with 90-day moving average as well. So we are not looking for longer term. We are looking now at the moment we only have short term trends. Okay, so we'll look at Food Empire. We can also look at Singapore Telecommunications, for example. Okay, this is Singtel. We can see in see that the share price is an uptrend in the short term. Okay, and it's now pulled back to the 30-day moving average. All right. So again, this is purely technical. We are basically an uptrend support opportunities are companies that has pulled back in an uptrend. Okay, we don't want to find companies that are still making a new high, because that's when the price gets higher and higher. We want to wait for the price to pull back. This list provides this kind of companies. And like the fundamentals as well, you can always click on the company financials to look at the company financials in more details. Like you see, Singtel revenue is quite consistent, but over time it has actually came down a little bit. Net profit has is quite in the yo-yo. Profit actually come down. If you look at the lighter blue one, right? But the operating cash flow is still quite consistent. Okay. So nothing fantastic. Turnover 10 years ago was 18 billion. The last financial year, March 2022, it has gone down from 18 to 15 billion. Okay. Operating profit, or look at profit or net profit, has gone down from nearly 4 billion 10 years ago, and is now only at 1.9 billion. Okay. Cash flow is very healthy. Operating cash flow has about around 5 billion most of the time. Okay. Um, Cash is quite healthy as well. Okay, so I mean, of course, it's Singtel, right? It's a telecom equivalent in Singapore. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that list. So uptrend support opportunities, so not much here, right? We have Food Empire, and we have Singapore or Singtel. If you want to look for downtrend oversold opportunities now, this up price has gone way below the moving average. It's come down quite significantly, and therefore technically it is deemed oversold. Okay, so we normally use RSI as an oversold and overbought indicator. These are companies that basically RSI went below 30. All right. So like I see here, RSI 15 here, they're all below 30. So again, short term, medium term, and also long term. So we see most of them are short term movements. Aztec, for example. Okay, you look at Aztec, um, you can see that their share prices has actually come down quite a lot. Okay, from the moving average. The moving average here on the 30-day moving average is about 77 cents, and the price is currently trading at 68.5 cents. And you see the RSI has gone below 30, therefore make this share price oversold. All right, it's relatively very low. Now you can look at the quarterlies, for example, to see why actually price came down. Okay, yeah, of course, based on the second half, which is December 2022, value turnover is actually quite okay. Net profit has also declined a little bit. Okay, the net profit on the previous quarter was 42 million, but it's gone up 34, and that probably explains why the share prices has come down, right? Um, this quarter probably challenging, and of course we haven't got the current quarter yet, okay, yet to come. Okay, then we're probably gonna see uh, the first half, okay, of this particular company, because it only shows you um, reports on a half yearly basis, so we can only see them in June, which probably can see them in August, when the reports are out. Okay, over the long run, this company is doing quite okay, right? The revenue has been increasing, net profit has also been increasing, but again, this is probably a hardware company, and therefore margins are quite low. Okay, it's quite a new company of 2020 to 2023. Turnover when it was listed, I mean 2020 was 400 million, has gone up to almost double, probably about 80%. Um, Profit has also gone up. So yeah, over the past 3 years, it's been showing quite good results. Right, the operating cash flow has also gone up quite significantly. Okay, the cash has also increased. Okay, so basically it's quite a new company, like it's a 3-year-old company, right? And therefore you can only see a three year chart. Okay, so if we're going to look at a bit longer term, okay, you can so this share price has been going down. It has gone up for the first 1 or 2 months during this IPO, and then after that, it's just been going down. It's quite weird, right? You probably need to find a little bit more context about this company. I mean, financially, the results looks quite okay, but share prices is not so forgiving, lah, right? Financials past 3 years has been increasing. Quarterlies, they are still quite okay. Quarterlies has come down a bit, but then again, the price has gone down way below its IPO price, right? So whether it's cheap or not, well, you have to make your own due diligence. But remember, this website is basically for you to look for opportunities, right? So instead of trying to figure out and find which stock to look at in the Singapore market, this will give you a list of stocks that's been filtered out in different criterias, right? Whether the price is in an uptrend, pulling back, or whether the price is, like, for example, Aztec here has gone down quite significantly, being oversold, or whether companies that has met certain fundamental criteria like dividends, or whether it's cash hoarders, or whether they are rising stars, and so on and so forth. So basically, it gives you ideas. So instead of looking at all the companies in Singapore, you just have to focus on a few companies, make your own due diligence, and make sure that the information that you have is enough before you make any investment decisions. All right. Okay, so those are basically fundamentals and also based on technical criteria. So there's also another one here. This uptrend overbought. Uptrend overboughts are basically price that has been overbought. That means price has already gone up quite significantly, right? For example, let's take a look at LHN Limited. Okay, you can see the stock price here. Price has actually gone up quite significantly, and RSI above 70, and therefore makes it overbought, right? Technically, okay. So basically, this is an alert because the price is really quite high, and if you're going to buy, for example, here may be buying at very high prices, right? So opportunities come when prices are oversold or when prices come down, right? Why price has gone up? Then maybe you can look at the quarterlies. Maybe something is happening over here. Okay. Or this is like the total opposite, right? Actually, the quarterly results does not look promising. Net profit has actually come down, okay, over the quarters, but share prices have gone up. Maybe there's some news, maybe there's some speculation. I do not know, but of course, based on looking at the financials, it doesn't really just justify that movement that we see uh, over the past few weeks, lah, right? Over the long run, you can see also the net profits are consistent. Okay, it's gone up a little bit, okay, but over the years, over the past 5 years, 6, 7 years, um, revenue has gone up also. Okay, but then again, why price went up that high? Maybe there's something I do not know. Okay, then this is something that you have to be careful. Okay, so if you look at a longer term, maybe it was oversold previously and prices are rebounding right now. Yeah, it's trading at this high here. Okay, where previously, you look at the price was trading about 15 cents and now it's 34.5 cents. Again, if I look at the fundamentals here, these are all audited numbers, of course. We haven't looked at the current number yet. Maybe there'll be a good results in the next quarter. I do not know, right? But definitely something is happening for this counter, right? The price has jumped up quite significantly over the past 1 month. Okay, you can see here, 26 cents to 36.5 cents, so about 8 cents jump. That's about 30% in a month. Okay, with very strong volume as well. So something is happening here. I don't know. The fundamentals are not showing anything, right? But prices already started moving. Okay. So this is where if you go around and play around with this tool, you are able to find sometimes quite exciting opportunities, and sometimes things that you have to be alert as well, right? If the price movement does not justify, it's not justified by these fundamentals, then we can only conclude it's probably speculation, or maybe a results is going to be announced soon. Okay, and there maybe other many factors lah. Okay, but again, if you're looking at this tool, it gives you an alert on this kind of companies. You're looking at uptrend overbought, I get some discounters here. And we look at Alishan, we can also look at, for example, some Bawang Corp Industries, or even Singapore Airlines. You read the news, Singapore Airlines recently just gave about 6 months or 6.5 months bonus to their staff. That means they've been doing quite well. Okay, we have seen quite a strong turnaround in Singapore Airlines. But it's some Bawang Corp, right? You can see this price has been going up steady. This probably is a historical high. Let's take a look at the monthly chart. Okay, but it's been definitely trading higher than the 1 year high. Okay, so this is the long-term chart. Okay, about 10-year chart, and the price is now trading near the 10-year high. Right, again, there has been very strong rebound after the COVID-19 pandemic. Right, price was trading about $1, just slightly less than 3 years ago, and in the price has gone up for more than 4 times. All right, financials. Okay, you can see financials are not that great. It's actually coming down compared from the 10 year ago to today, right? But prices are trading 10 year ago. But we're probably going to see a better financial this year, and that's the reason why price has really gone up. Okay, so we have to be very careful. Sometimes price can be over speculated, like what we are seeing now, right? Because if you look at a 10-year graph, you can see that the revenue has not actually increased that much. It's actually gone up from 2020, but you don't see the big jump in revenue, right? Profit has also gone up, right, from 500 million to about 1.6 billion, compared to 2020, for example, right? So if you look at 2020, net profit was down $1 billion in 2020 because of the COVID pandemic, right? But you can see a turnaround right now. And the last financial year, which is December 2022, we see the net profit back to its pre-pandemic levels, right? And that's the reason why you see price has gone back to even pre-pandemic levels. But not only that, it has gone back to near its historical high, right? So yes, I think so. So at least for this kind of companies, you can see that their share price is in tandem with the performance or the financial performance, right? I look at quarterlies, for example, Sembawang Corp. Okay, you can see also quite consistent, but very, very strong improvement in the quarterly results, because you look at the first half and the second half of 2020, because of the COVID pandemic, they were down, but they have actually recovered quite strongly. Okay, and that's the reason why you see the share price has gone up quite steadily over the past 2 years. Okay, so this is a 2 year chart. You can see during the pandemic, it was down here, trading slightly below $1. Okay, that's in 2020, right? Fast forward 3 years later, the price has gone up 4 times, more than 4 times in 3 years. That shows that fundamentally strong companies normally is able to go through the test of challenging times. But when the market returns and the market starts to grow again, you can see that share price will start to go back to its former glory. All right. Yeah. So I can go also look at others. Like for example, you look at downtrend resistance. It means that the price has gone down, um, but you don't see any counters here, right? These are basically stocks that's actually gone oversold, very very low, and he has rebounded significantly. All right, we don't see any at the point of time now. Okay, so this one here is updated on a daily basis, so the list may change on a daily basis. Okay, whereas the fundamentals one will only change um, whenever the quarterly or half yearly or yearly reports are out, right? But the yields, for example, the PE ratios, the dividend yields, and all that will be updated daily, because that includes the daily price movements, right? So that's why you get that updated. But other than that, like revenue, net profits, all the other fundamentals, they only get updated. Okay, fastest is on a quarterly basis if they provide quarterly reports lah. If not, it's half yearly or it's on a yearly basis. Okay. So I think that's about it, because I think the previous webinar we've actually gone through the REITs. So if you're also looking for REITs in Singapore, you can also use this tool, because there's quite a number of things that you can use here, right? On the REITs, you can look at the sector, for example, and look for office REITs. These are all the office REITs, and you can go down to the details. All right. That includes the occupancy rate, their gearing ratio, the number of properties they have, the segmentation, where they are, the geographical area where they are, and so on and so forth. So it's quite a comprehensive REITs tool. We call REITs Guru over here. All right. So you want to know more about REITs in Singapore, just click on REITs Guru and you get all the information here. All right. So I guess that's about it. This is how I want to share with you basically how easy it is for you to look for, um, you know, trading or investing ideas using this tool over here. Just go over this website. So it's not a very complicated tool or very complicated to use. It's supposed to be self-serve. So right now there's no registration or whatsoever. You just have to go in and just click your way and look for investing and trading opportunities for the Singapore market. All right. There's also a Singapore Market Campus Facebook group, where if you want to have more information about the Singapore market, where you want to get, you want to communicate with those who are interested in the Singapore market, you can always go to the Singapore Market Campus. Okay, this is actually a Facebook group that you can join and you can participate as well. And if you want to look for articles and posts, okay, at the bottom over here, there's also articles and posts that you can look that are based on um, Singapore market. All right. So feel free to browse this website, and I hope that this website is able to help you to find investing and trading opportunities in the Singapore market. All right. Yeah. Just gonna leave this probably about a minute for you to ask questions. If there are no questions, then we can just end this session over here. All right. Or even if the session is ended, please feel free to comment on the comment section, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Okay, so if there's no other questions, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I wish you all the best, and have a good evening. Thank you.